Let's take a look at the IT sector in Charlotte, starting with where are the IT jobs locally. So you can see on the map of Mecklenburg County, pretty equal disbursement throughout the entire county, with 3 zip codes really rising to the top. That is 28217 on the southwestern part of town, 28277 in the southernmost tip of Mecklenburg County near Ballantyne, and 28262 in the northeastern part of Mecklenburg County near the university area. Taking a look at this sector as a whole, we can see above average supply in terms of the national average for a similarly sized metro at just under 40,000 individuals. In terms of the average earnings per job, we are below the national average for a similarly sized area, but still strong earnings at about just under $120,000 a year. In terms of month-over-month demand for job postings and new hires, we're looking at some strong demand here with over 2,000 new job postings monthly in this sector. And taking a further look at the employment in this sector over time, we can see that there was growth over the past 5 years, a 4% growth rate, and we're projected to see even stronger growth over the next 5 years with a projected 12% growth rate, continuing to outpace that national average, even with the little dip from the pandemic. And taking a look at the overall diversity of this sector, we can see that this sector is below average risk for retirement, something to keep an eye on with the aging workforce and a large number of retirements driven by the pandemic. In terms of racial diversity, this industry employs just under 16,000 racially diverse individuals, which is again above that national average. And in terms of gender diversity, this sector employs just under 13,000 women and above the national average there. Taking a look at the unemployment trends for this sector, we can see the impact of the pandemic did again have a large impact on this sector. However, as of late 2021, we see that this sector has returned to pre-pandemic levels of unemployment, if not slightly lower. Taking a further look at the demographic breakdowns of this sector, we can see, again, this sector is primarily comprised of individuals between ages 25 and 54, like most of Mecklenburg County, with about equal representation of individuals aged 19 to 24 as the county. Looking at it by race and ethnicity, we can see this industry is predominantly white, just under 60%, followed by 18% Black or African American, so some underrepresentation there, and then just under 16% Asian, when Asians represent about 6% of the population here in Mecklenburg. Taking a look at the gender diversity for this sector, we can see this is a heavily male-dominated sector, with about 68% of this sector being male. And looking at the top occupations in this sector, we can see that unsurprisingly, the top occupation is either a computer or mathematical occupation for the IT sector, and followed by business occupations and management occupations. Taking a look at the top companies and top jobs in demand over the past 12 months, you can see the top companies hiring were Microsoft, Spectrum, and Accenture. And you can look at the top job titles looking for Java developers, project managers, and software engineers. Looking at what skills you would need to really get into this sector, what you can see below is an analysis of how people are transitioning into this sector versus transitioning out of this sector. And so what you can see is most people are really coming from and staying in computer programming. That's the most common industry sector that people are moving from and to. So you're not seeing a lot of industry crossover here, but we are seeing some connection to some different industries here. So you're seeing a lot of people coming from this IT sector may then eventually transition to colleges. And you could see a lot of individuals maybe transition to IT coming from commercial banking or even return to commercial banking after being in the IT sector. And so this is where you can really see those industry shifts over time and how the skills demanded in this sector translate across multiple different industries and sectors. And so that's exactly what I've got here, which is what are the top skills in demand for this sector. And so the top 2 skills that have been consistently demanded over the past 2 years are a knowledge of agile methodology and SQL, the programming language. And so you can see some other variation here. One skill I'll note that has been Increasing in demand in this sector is financial services. So again, with the prevalence of our fintech sector here locally, we can see that that is a skill that is rising in demand in this IT sector. And in terms of impact on the local economy, we can see this sector contributed over $5 billion in earnings locally to the local economy. So strong contribution to local earnings. And then taking a further look at the local economic impact, looking at some supply chain analysis and gap analysis, we can see how this industry connects to other industries. And so you're seeing connections to obviously telecommunications, and you can see how that breaks down between purchases in our region and purchases out of our region. And so that's all I've got for you today, but I hope you've enjoyed this quick update on the IT sector here locally.